Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to be showing you a way that we may be able to think about how we can take math standards and be able to integrate those into our gradebook for our elementary classes. I've created a class, Math K4, for one of our teachers, so I was able to experiment with this. And what I was able to do was to take the domains that we have for fourth grade math and be able to put those domains as categories, and then for the assignments it's the individual standards underneath each of those domains. So let me show you how that works. First, we're in the class, and you'll see under the categories the domains are listed for a category. So each of these assignments, even though they're not really an assignment, we don't want to think of them as assignments. We're just representing the standards inside of the gradebook. Here are where those standards fall. So you'll see when I hover over this particular standard, interpret a multiplication equation, when I click on it, up comes the information based on this particular standard. And you'll be able to see that it's reflected in the standard I had up above. It's 1. This is 1 for this standard. And assigned to each of those is the sequence it falls. So there's a logical order for it. So it'll follow exactly what we have with the Department of Education's mathematics standards. So you'll see when we come underneath here, mathematics, operations, algebraic thinking, number 1 right over here matches our number 1 right over here. So they're following the same order all the way across, so that would lead to less confusion. Whatever we would create here in the district would be able to do the exact same thing. And it falls underneath all of this. It can be changed at any time. If I click edit, a teacher would be free to come in here and could enter any comments they want, any more feedback that could come into all this. We can make them visible to the class if we want to. However, all of this works the same way as what the LMS does at the middle school and the high school levels, because that's what this is. We also can change the number of points. If we decide 2 points isn't what we want, we can change that to 3 points or 4 points, whatever you would decide on there. And each of these feeds into that particular category, into the domain. So I'm going to hit cancel. Let's come back over again to it. It goes all the way across, and you'll see up on the top again. If we click, up it comes on the screen. And all of these have been entered to be able to help the teachers. So let's say that a student has been able to demonstrate these, and we decide a 2 is the top score. So this child has already demonstrated it. This one has demonstrated it. This one is still progressing, hasn't gotten there quite yet, and this student has not met it yet at all. Now you'll notice, because this is feeding over into this particular domain, this is already representing how the student is doing. So let's just go through here, and all these are the, again, they fall underneath that operations and algebraic thinking. So let me just go through here, and let me just add in a bunch of these scores so we're able to see how this goes. Whoops. There we go. And we'll come down, and let's just choose something down here. There we go. Now we have these scores in, and you'll see they're being reflected now in our domains, into these categories. And when you look at this, you can get a very quick snapshot of how the student is doing. So we'll see the students at 50%. They still have some work to go. And it doesn't mean that they're doing poorly. It doesn't mean that they're doing extremely well. It's just that particular snapshot in time. So they're able to get this, and all of these assignments, because that's what campus calls them, all reflect and go over to those domains, over to those categories. Now what we can also do with all this is, if we start this at the beginning of the year, or we start it during second term, you're able to, in the settings that we have in here, you're able to come in and change these down below to be a cumulative grade. So if we start at the beginning of the year, it can be cumulative over the course of the year, so that a teacher doesn't have to start brand new every term. It's something that can be stretched out for that whole school year. It's a fantastic option that campus is now giving us to be able to work on with this. So this kind of gives you a visual representation of something that we can do inside of campus with all of the different standards that we're thinking of. The teachers are able to use these right away at the beginning. They put them in here. They don't have to have multiple sources that they're pulling the information from at the last minute. They can just keep this as a running tally as the year is going on. And they also get that very quick look at how the students are doing with those particular domains. So I'm hoping this helps you get a little bit of a visual representation of what is possible for us to be able to do inside of campus. Thanks, everybody.